In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing the series finale of The Offer, titled Brains and Balls. This is the culmination of a 10-episode series about the making of The Godfather and behind-the-scenes look at The Godfather and what went into the backstory of it. You have Miles Teller as Albert Ruddy, you have Juno Temple as Betty, you have Matthew Goode as Robert Evans, Colin Hanks as Lapidus. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This show is unlike any show you've ever thought imaginable. The writing is phenomenal. The acting is great. The one actor that stands out and the character that stands out is Matthew Goode as Robert Evans, as well as Miles Teller as Albert Ruddy. The dynamic that these two actors have and the characters that they play is immensely mind-blowing. Matthew Goode gives a stunning performance as Robert Evans. And I will say this, I feel like, and maybe I want to guarantee that he's going to win an award for this role. If he doesn't, I'll be really, really surprised. This show will be nominated for a few television awards as well. This show is on Paramount Plus, and all 10 episodes are streaming now. So if you want, you can definitely binge watch it and enjoy it to see what went into the making of one of the greatest films of all time, The Godfather. Now, episode 10 is basically the premiere of The Godfather. You know, we see what goes into the premiere, what happens, and not only that, what everything else will, everyone wants to do. Albert Ruddy wants to go on his own to make another film. We find out that that film that he wants to do on his own is The Longest Yard. If you remember, The Longest Yard starred Burt Reynolds. It's one of the classic films of the 1970s. And then Robert Evans, we find out that they're greenlighting a sequel to The Godfather called The Godfather Part 2. We get that meeting with Evans, Coppola, Puzo, and Ruddy where they explain to Evans that, what's going on with part 2. What will it be? It'll be a prequel and a sequel. Dan Fogler as Francis Ford Coppola was great. I mean, I feel like I wanted more of him because he is just the spitting image of a young Coppola, and it really, really worked in a tremendous way. I'm praising the shit out of this show because it's that phenomenal and that well done. If you want to know the idea of filmmaking and the producing and the aspect of trying to get the actors, what a secretary has to go through, like Betty, to get everybody into these meetings and stuff, watch this show. This is a show for filmmakers out there, and this is one show that I will revisit over and over again just to see the dynamic of the cinematography, the lighting, the settings. I mean, Paramount Pictures making a show about a movie that they made back in the 1970s. And 2022 is the 50th anniversary of The Godfather. I mean, the film won Best Actor, Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay at the 45th Academy Awards back in 1973. The movie did come out in March of 1972, and a year later it won those awards. Not only that, the front and center aspect of this show is Robert Evans' character. It's really Robert Evans driven in this 10th and final episode. Matthew Goode just, has that chutzpah about himself. Ally McGraw comes back to him and serves him papers for a divorce. But we don't see the character of Robert Evans freak out, not at all. He understands everything and what's going on. Whatever he touched when he produced the movie turned to gold or turned into a box office hit. Not only that, he did Chinatown, he did The Marathon Man, he even did Urban Cowboy. One of the top films of all times are these three films. You talk to someone about Chinatown, they know what it is. Marathon Man, they know what it is. They even know what Urban Cowboy is. Robert Evans just knew what to do and how to produce a film. It was immensely amazing. This episode really focused only on the aspect of the world premiere. Coppola's pacing because he doesn't know the reactions, what the reviews will be, but we find out what the reaction of the audience is at this world premiere and what the reviews are, and that people love it. It's a hit. It's a big phenomenon and the biggest movie of all time at that time. And then we find out, the aspect of Evans and Ruddy sitting and watching the Oscar nominations, the film getting 11 nominations, and then we go to the Academy Awards. Of course, Cabaret at the time came out at the same time, and was starred Liza Minnelli and Joel Grey, and was directed by Bob Fosse. Bob Fosse won Best Director. Coppola lost out on that, but he did win, as I said, screenplay with Mario Puzo. Marlon Brando won Best Actor, and Albert S. Ruddy won for this movie. And we see that. We see him accepting the award. We see the aftermath of what happens. We see everybody go their separate ways and what they do. The ending of this episode, we find out the snippets and tidbits of what happens after, the show ends, and then what happens where they were after the movie, the real life aspect of certain things. I mean, the last time recently Albert Ruddy won a Best Picture Oscar award was for producing $1 Million Baby, which was directed by Clint Eastwood and starred Hilary Swank, Morgan Freeman, and Clint Eastwood. So, I mean, even Albert S. Ruddy knew what movies to produce. This is a dynamic series that it's 10 episodes. People are like, oh God, 10 episodes, an hour long, what's going to happen? No, binge it. It's amazing. This show got better when the Italian Mafia, with the character of Joe Colombo, played by Giovanni Ribisi, left the show. That one scene where Ruddy leaves the hospital bed, I feel like that was the closing moments of that arc in the story. And then we go into the film itself, The Godfather, the premiere, the Academy Awards, the nominations, and then the actual, presentation of the Academy Awards. Once that, maybe I want to say the first 5 episodes were good. 1, 2, and 3 were great. 4 and 5 were a little bit lackluster. 6 was not too bad. But then it picked up with 7, 8, and 9. And then boom, the payoff with 10. I mean, it's great. I mean, after every episode, there is a behind-the-scenes look at what went into the making of the episode that you just watched. It's great. It's fun. I absolutely loved it. And then by the end of the series, you see the arc of each character, of what they went through from where they started, what they were going through with their trials and tribulations, and then how much success they had in the end, especially the character of Robert Evans that Matthew Goode played. I can't stress enough about that. It's probably one of my favorite characters of all time in a TV series, and I really do mean it, where this show really is unbelievable, and whoever thought about it is, I give them so much credit. Knowing the history of it, what went into it, even the actors that played the other actors, like the actor that played Marlon Brando, Al Pacino in this. I mean, you can see that they went into their own craft just to bring these young characters to life back. It was great. It was done so well. And, not only that, you see the character arc of Lupitas, who works for Bluthorn, and, Evans. They're bitter enemies in the beginning. They can't agree on anything, but in the end, they become best friends, and, hey, life moves on. I really recommend this show. I highly recommend this show. It's fantastic from start to finish. Check it out if you love everything that has to do with The Godfather. If you're a fan of The Godfather, watch this show. If you're a fan of the making and the behind-the-scenes look at how a movie was made through the eyes of a TV series, which I feel like it's the first time that's been done, check this show out. It's great. It's streaming on Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus is knocking it out of the ballpark with a home run with their TV series and even their movies. Paramount Plus, and Paramount Pictures for that matter, has been around for a long time, and I feel like they know what turns to gold at the box office, and especially for movies. For me, The Offer, the entire series, gets 5 out of 5 stars. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about The Offer as an entire series, and also let me know what you thought about the series finale, titled Brains and Balls. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Did you like the dynamic of how everybody's story was told and how they went their ways in the end, and how we saw Ruddy go from what he was in the beginning to doing engineering to being a big-time Hollywood producer? Did you like that character? Which of these characters in this show was your favorite? For me, like I said, it was Matthew Goode as Robert Evans, and a very close second as Miles Teller as Albert Ruddy, and then is Dan Fogler as Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, It's amazing. If they, any platform of streaming, any company out there who decides to do a behind the scenes show of a movie that that company made, I'm curious to see what they have in store next, because Paramount Plus did just that. And also let me know what rating you would give The Offer. Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions that I just asked, and I'll see you guys in the next review video.